everyone, welcome back with another session of geography. So today we will continue the same chapter, that is natural vegetation and wildlife. Okay. So in the previous session we have discussed about that natural vegetation. There are various types of natural vegetation, that's forest, grasslands, crops and tundra. And in the previous session we also discussed about the different types of forest, that is the evergreen forest and the deciduous forest. So today we will discuss about the other types of natural vegetation. The first that comes up, that is the grasslands. Yes, we all know that what are these grasslands? Now, grassland is an area in which the vegetation is dominated by a nearly continuous cover of grasses. Alright, so basically a major portion is covered up with grasses. Now, the grasslands occur in environment conducive to the growth of this plant cover, but not to that of taller plants, particularly trees and shrubs. Alright, so we will not get taller plants in these areas, only the short height plants and different kinds of shrubs we will get. And that too in some scattered areas, not in all the portions, not in all the areas. Alright, now grasslands are one of the most widespread of all the major vegetation types of the world. Understood? Now the factors preventing establishment of such taller and woody vegetation are really very varied. Alright, so along with all this, so this is however only because human manipulation of the land has significantly altered the natural vegetation. So along with the natural grassland, these animals, they have also created some artificial grasslands of cereal crops, pastures and other areas. Okay, that require some form of repetitions, unnatural disturbance such as cultivation, irrigation and drought. So except the natural grasslands, so there are some artificial grasslands made by the human beings also. Okay. So when we talk about these grasslands can be classified as tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands. Alright. Now, first we have, that is the tropical grasslands. Now, these tropical grasslands, these are found in the tropical zones on either side of the rainforest in Africa, in the Brazilian highlands, okay, parts of Bolivia, Paraguay and Venezuela, and in northern Australia. Now, these tropical grasslands, they are known by different names in different places. Now, for example, if you see, they are known as savanna in Africa, llanos in Venezuela, and campos in the Brazilian highlands. Alright, now what are some of the features? These tropical grasslands, they have tall grasses, and there are no such trees and tall trees. So trees found here are short and they are scattered throughout the different regions. Alright, so these are all the features of these tropical grasslands. Next we have, that is the temperate grasslands. Now these grasslands are located in the interior regions of the temperate belt. So likewise, like the tropical grasslands, these temperate grasslands, they are also known by different names. And these names are very common to us. So they are known as the prairies in North America, pampas in South America, steppes in Eurasia, velds in South Africa, and the downs in Australia. Now, the rainfall, what are some of the features? The rainfall in these regions varies from moderate to poor. It's not that the rainfall percentage is really very high. So somewhere it is moderate to average and somewhere it's really very poor. So therefore, here the grasses are shorter in length. So they have short grasses and only few trees such as alder, willow, polar. So these trees are found in these temperate grassland areas. Understood? So these are all the features about these grasslands. Next we move on to the desert vegetation. Now when we talk about this desert vegetation, so we all know that what's a desert. So desert, any large, extremely dry area of land with sparse vegetation, isn't it? So it is one of the Earth's major types of ecosystems, supporting a community of distinctive plants and animals, specially adapted to the harsh environment. Yes, as the environment is very harsh, the climate is also different from ours, so that's why only a few percentage, only few plants and animals, they are really special and they are adapted especially in these areas. Alright, such as animals such as we have camel. See, you know about camel. So they are adapted to these areas. Okay, they can store food and water for many days. Okay, and we have vegetation such as cactus and all these things. So the desert vegetation is found in areas with high or low temperature and with scanty rainfall. So these desert vegetation, these are found in the high, suppose hot and humid areas, and same way it is also found in some temperate areas, suppose where the temperature is relatively cool. Alright, and with scanty rainfall. In all these spaces the percentage of rainfall is really very less. Alright, so some hot desert, these vegetations are found in some hot desert. Suppose it is found in the Sahara Desert. We all know Sahara Desert, it is in northern Africa. Kalahari in southern Africa. Sonoran Desert in North America. Great Australian Desert in Australia. Alright, Arabian Desert in Saudi Arabia, and Great Indian Desert in India. So all these, and along with all them we also have some cold deserts. These are found in some cold desert, that is in temperate regions in the interior portions of Asia. That is, we have Gobi Desert, we have the Tibetan Plateau, and we have one in South America, that is Patagonia Plateau. See, in all these areas also we will get these kinds of desert vegetations. Now, when we talk about these desert vegetations, desert vegetation only supports xerophytic plants. They only support xerophytic plants. Now, what is this xerophytic plant? So basically the plants which can adapt themselves to hot and dry climate. So these kinds of plants are termed as xerophytic plants. Now some examples are, suppose babul, kika, cactus, date palm and acacia. So these are some examples of xerophytic plants. Now what are the features of these kinds of vegetation? So such plants, they have thick stems to store water, and they have long roots to draw water from great depths. So basically if you cut the stems of a cactus plant, you will see some weighty stuff in that. It is nothing but the water they store it. Alright, and they have long roots so that it go underground and they can store water. Okay. So these features, basically these are essential to prevent the loss of moisture. Understood? So thorny bushes and shrubs, they are very common in these hot deserts, and whereas in the cold deserts are mostly barren and they have limited growth of shrubs. Understood? So these are the different features of these desert vegetation. Now the next one that we have, that is the tundra vegetation. Alright. So this is basically the opposite of this desert vegetation. Now tundra, a major zone of treeless level or rolling ground that is found in the cold regions, as the desert vegetation were found in the hot areas. So these are also tundra, it is found in the cold regions, extremely cold regions. Now the tundra vegetation, it is found north of the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. Alright, and it also extends over the northern part of Canada and Alaska, southern Greenland, and the northern part of Eurasia bordering the Arctic Circle. So in these areas we can get this tundra vegetation. Now tundra is known for large stretches of bare ground and rocks, and for patchy mantles of low vegetation such as hogs, small shrubs, etc. So here also the same thing, we not get tall trees and other than like the normal natural vegetation that we get in our plain areas. So here also we will get herbs and shrubs. Alright, so when we talk about the vegetation, tundra vegetation, so due to the freezing condition in these areas, the plant life is basically very limited. Alright, so only birch, willow, mosses, lichens, and a variety of wildflowers, they are found here in the summertime when it is actually a slightly warm. Alright, and this surface supports a meager but unique variety of animals. Okay, as we have less natural vegetation, so quite naturally the animals are also very special, and they are also very less in numbers. Now animals are adapted to handle long and cold winter. Yes, these are extremely cold regions. So half of the year mostly it is covered with snow. So basically they are adapted in these situations. they are adapted to handle long and cold winter and to breed and raise young quickly. That is in the summertime. That is for a short period of time. Okay. So these are all the features about this vegetation. So that's all we have in this session. So in the next session we will discuss about the natural vegetation of India and all. I hope you like this video. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.